There has been an awful lot of criticism over the Obama administration's handling of the situation in Libya, from the apparent lapses in security before the terror attack on our U.S. consulate in Benghazi to the changing narrative after the attack that left our ambassador and 3 other Americans dead. Here's how Governor Romney addressed it last night.
We've seen in nation after nation a number of disturbing events. Of course, we see in Syria 30,000 civilians having been killed by the military there. We see in Libya an attack apparently by, well, I think we know now, by terrorists of some kind against our people there, 4 people dead.
And Mr. Romney pretty much left it at that, leaving some to say he missed an opportunity. Joining us now, Judge Andrew Napolitano, a Fox News senior judicial analyst. You have some thoughts about the Libya situation. You say that the president destroyed the Libyan government?
Well, President Obama destroyed the Libyan government when he unilaterally bombed Libya last year, John, while the Congress of the United States was on spring break. He made the announcement while he was in Brazil and said he didn't have time to get Congress's approval or authorization as the Constitution required. Of course, he did have time to get approval from NATO and from the Arab League, mysteriously, however, not from Congress. But in bombing the way he did, he destroyed not only Gaddafi personally and Gaddafi's government, but he also destroyed government material, government buildings, government personnel, police stations, the intelligence community. And by creating this vacuum in the government, once Gaddafi was dead, he opened up room for the gangs of militias that now rule the country to come in. And one of the first things those gangs did was to open up the jails. And out of the jails came some of the very people that Gaddafi had locked up who were members of al-Qaeda. In the case of a few of them, they had been released from Guantanamo Bay because the U.S. military had captured them. So he is largely, in my view, responsible for having created the environment in which Ambassador Stevens and others were murdered.
He is the commander-in-chief, and does the War Powers Act not give him the opportunity, the right to use military force where he deems it appropriate?
It does. But to have suggested that he had time to consult and get the approval of the Arab League and NATO and not the approval of the United States Congress is an insult to Congress, an insult to the American people, and an insult to the Constitution. And it shows a rush to please the European mentality. Gaddafi's bad and he's got to go, without thinking about the likely consequences of such an invasion. And those consequences, unfortunately, were manifested on September 11th when the ambassador was murdered. And then to dispatch UN Ambassador Rice to lie about it, and to do this at the height of a presidential campaign, is chutzpah that Governor Romney should have challenged last night.
Judge Andrew Napolitano, our senior judicial analyst. Judge, thank you.
Pleasure.